Hello, good morning. How are you guys? Happy Tuesday. All right, so I'm gonna lead you guys through something that is super powerful, okay? And this is the thing that I do. I recommend that my clients do it. I have had two different clients. This was early on when I first started Energy Queen 5 years ago. So it was like very early. I didn't know for sure if it would work for them, but it worked for both of the people who have tried this that I've worked like specifically on this with. Okay, so this is something that anybody can do as well. And what it is it's my belief method. Okay, I call it the belief method because what you're doing is you are creating your reality through your beliefs. And little does everybody know, you're always doing that. So it's like you just harness the power, kind of like, I like to think of it like you harness the power of, kind of like we do with airplanes, like we harness the power of gravity, the law of gravity, the pull of gravity to do something. So this is the same thing. This is the way the world works. It's the way your life is created. Your beliefs are what energy is, and that creates your reality. So the beliefs that you have inside of you basically are the energies that are inside of you, and the energies inside of you are literally what show up every day in your life. And so if you want to make something specific happen, then it's like we're gonna do something to work with that and harness the power of that. Makes sense? So I think that's a super smart thing to do. So the way you do my belief method, and by the way, what happened with both these people was the first one wanted to, okay, this is even crazier. Just let me explain because it'll get you excited about this. The first thing that happened with, I mean, I've been doing this since I figured it out, but like the first like really important, oh my God, it's like I've used this so many times and it works so well. Okay, the first time I got something, let's say monetary, like I got something of monetary value was in deep of the pandemic in 2020, I think. I was in like a free group challenge, but it was for like 14 days with Lucy Vincent, if you know Lucy Vincent. She's an entrepreneur coach, a business coach. And there were maybe like, I don't know, it's like 15, 20 of us women in that free challenge. And it was kind of like the person who showed up the most, who like did everything, like they were going to choose one person out of all of those people to win her accelerator program, which was $2,000. So it's like, at that time, I was just starting my business and it was like in the pandemic. So I didn't know, I didn't have $2,000 basically to do the program, but I knew like I wanted to work with her. So it was kind of like do or die for me. I was alone here in New York City, like so much unpredictability. Nobody, the whole city was closed down. This was all I had to make money to pay rent. So that was like, it was like kind of like, I have to do this. Like I absolutely have to do this. Like there's no question. And so this belief method is what I employed, and I made it happen, you guys. And it was really, really close between me and one other girl or woman named Morgan. And I think a year later, Morgan maybe was doing something similar. I think it might have even still been with Lucy, or it could have been with someone else, but she was in a similar situation, free challenge, you can win something really big. And I told Morgan, you know how I did it? I'll help you do this. I'm gonna tell you what I did, and then you're gonna win this. And I was really confident because it worked for me. And you guys, she won it. So it is so good. And not only that, on top of that, there's a third time where, and these are just contest situations. I've done so many things with this. The third time was a client of mine who was in that original program or group challenge with Lucy. She signed up for the program, so I got to know her more, and she kind of similar situation. She was like, you know, there's this thing, I really want to win it. And it was some kind of contest. It might have even been a draw, which is even more crazy to make that happen. Yeah, I forget if it was a draw or a contest of some sort, but it was, again, like a coaching, you win something that was really important to her. And I was like, I'm confident enough, you know, we can do this. And we did it. So those are 3 different, like, really, like, bam, 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 you know, like it worked 100% right. You know, that's pretty crazy. So, and not only that, I've used this to, let me just rattle off a few things to get you excited, even more excited. I've used this to move to New York City from Canada. I've used this to get into the SNL after party, finale after party, 3 different times, including this year. Sabrina Carpenter. I've used this to, this is my secret weapon. I use it all the time. I use it to get clients. I use it to get jobs. I use it to get apartments. I use it to get money. I use it to, what else? There's so many, like, cool specific things too that, oh my God, just so many things. I think almost, like, pretty much everything. This is, like, honestly what I fall back on when I'm like, I need to make something happen. And you might be thinking, like, okay, well, then why don't you do it all the time and just have the perfect life? Because it takes effort, you know, it still takes effort. But the thing is, if you do it and you really do it, I believe that it will happen. I believe it will work for you. And yeah, everything that I've done using this belief method, like, has, like, with all my heart, you know, has, yeah, it's like really good. Okay. So it might surprise you what it is. And yes, you're going to need to put some effort in. Okay. But again, if you do it, it's worked for me and it's worked for other people. I'm going to teach you exactly what I taught those people. And it worked for them. I didn't do the work for them, by the way. I just told them what to do. And I'm doing the same with you. Okay? So if you do this, there is potential for something that you really want to happen. Okay? And again, it's just harnessing the power of what's already there. You know, the way life is already creating your life. What happens? All right. Ready? So it's called the belief method. That's what I named it. And what you do, I have a notepad because you're gonna need something like this, or you can do it on your computer. And what you do is you write down, you have to be specific. So what you do is you write down the goal that you have, and you have to, like, know exactly what it is, right? You have to know exactly what it is. So you write it down. I'm trying to think of what I want to do. Okay, so I won't share mine, but because that, it doesn't matter. But so you write down your goal at the top. Okay, you write it down so you know what it is. And I mean, it's not relevant to the lesson, is why I'm not sharing. So, but you write down your goal, okay? And then what you do beneath it, we're used to having to-do lists, right? But the thing that to-do lists leave out is timing, you know, is spirit, is energy. It's sort of like the to-do lists are very masculine to me. And it's not that a to-do list doesn't matter, but if you want to create, you know, you want to engineer something in reality, you want to change the direction of what's being created, like, you have to work with energy in that case. So you write down your goal at the top, okay? Or do it on a computer or your phone, okay? Goal. And then be specific. And then beneath it, instead of writing your to-do list, what you do, something similar, but what you do is you write down, what do I believe I need to do? What do I just, inside of myself, nobody can tell you this either. What do I just believe that I would need to do to make this actually happen? Okay, so like, just inside of yourself, it might take a little bit for you to just sort of like feel that and think about that and be with that. Like, okay, like, what do I believe I would need to do? Like, imagine that this thing is actually going to happen. So I'll use myself for the example with the group program that I won, you know, the challenge. I did this exact thing. I wrote down what I wanted, and then I thought to myself, okay, like, what would I actually need to do here? But not just like what other people might think or what, you know, I'm worried that they might want. It's like, what do I just inside myself believe? Like, what if I did it would make me believe it's in the bag? You know what I mean? Like, what would I have to do to feel like that? What would I have to do to really feel like it's 100%, you know? And like I said, it was really close between me and Morgan. So what I did was I thought to myself things like, well, okay, well, like, if I show up to every single call, that will help me believe this. If I do all the assignments she gives us, like, without fail, meaning I have to do every single one, I can't leave even one undone, then that will help me believe this. If I participate and I ask questions, that would make me believe that I'm going to get it more. What else? I just kind of went through details like that. Like, what are the specific things that I need to do that would just make me believe? Okay, so that's the trick. It's like, you don't do what you think other people want you to do, even though they're deciding, you know, if it's them deciding. You just think like, well, what would make me really feel and believe is the key word, that I'm gonna get this. And okay, so then you write down those specific things. You write them down, however many there are, and you write them down until you feel like you look at that and there's no stone unturned. It's like, okay, like, if I really did all these things for real, I would have the full 100% belief that, like, this is definitely going to happen. Okay. Then the active part, you have to do them. Okay. And that is where it's like make or break with this method. You can't do some of them and then be like, it didn't work. You have to do all of them. You guys, you have to do all of them. You have to do all of them. I'm going to say it again. You have to do them all. Okay. You have to do all of them. You cannot leave even the tiniest detail. If it's part of your belief, it's like, this is what is going to create 100% belief. You can't go to 99% and not do the last 1%. You have to do 100%. So if you look at all of these and you do all of them, then that's how you do it. And you might be like, oh, it's so much work. But the cool thing about this method is that it's not just you doing the work, it's your energy and your beliefs. It's the energy world working with you. Because not only are you doing, like, if you want to create something, right? If you want to create, like, for example, me with, I'll use a different example. If you want to create, like, I'll use the SNL after party, actually. That's a pretty fun story. In 2019, right before I moved to New York, I came to New York because my aunt does audio engineering, and she had a student who got a job at SNL, and she invited me to come backstage. And so it was DJ Khaled was the musical guest, and Paul Rudd was the host. I got to sit in the audio booth the whole show. It was amazing. But my goal, because, you know, I do comedy, was I really wanted to go to the after party because that's where you can talk to people. And everybody they had these tickets. The employees had tickets to get in, and I didn't have a ticket. So I really didn't want to, like, hi, Summer. I really didn't want to, like, be there and then have to go home. And, like, it was just like, I have to go to the after party, like, no question, but I don't have a ticket. So what I did is sort of like a condensed version of this belief method that I'm teaching you, which is I, in my own beliefs, realized if I get every member of my family to pray to St. Jude. That I'll get into the after party. St. Jude, by the way, is the saint of hopeless cases. So he's really good in emergency situations. And if I believe I asked all my family members to pray to him, that specifically I'll get in the after party, and I also pray. I just believe that I will. You know, I believe that he will do it. So this method is about you doing something, but also harnessing the power of the energy world, which is there to help you. And so you might feel like, I have a ton of things to do, but by the way, I did get in the after party, of course, without a ticket. But you just do it all with the faith. That's what's important. You do it with the faith that while you're doing these things, the energy world is going to be like matching you, like doing the things and creating the situations that you couldn't even possibly create, because you can only do so many things, right? And especially with that story I told you about the contest, it's like I didn't have control over who they chose. But if I had the full belief, I knew that, and I did everything in my power, I knew that the energy world would also advocate for me, right? And help me, because I was doing everything possible, you know, in my beliefs that I could do. So it's like that supernatural element will be there and you don't even have to worry about it, right? And to get into the party, what happened was something, you know, like that. It was serendipitous. It was one of the, you know, I got friendly with the guys who worked there, and one of them, this older guy, Jay, I love Jay, he was like, just put your arm in my arm and we'll just walk in. And so we did. Like, he had a ticket, I didn't, but I just had my arm in his arm, walked in. And so it's like those things that feel uncontrollable, you know, happen for you. But the way that you're inviting them is saying, I'm going to do everything I can do so that I really believe, and then you're going to help me because I believe. So that is the belief method, you guys. And it is really good. I challenge myself to use it more, because some of the goals you have are going to be long-term. Like, that was a mini example, getting into SNL, right? But if you have, say, I want to, you know, whatever it is, get married, or I want to like meet the right person, or I want to, you know, something that's maybe a bit longer term in your life, you can write down what you believe you need to do. But, and Summer, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you should watch the whole thing because it's really good. When I'm done. Some of these things might be like, do something every day. So it's like you have to keep it up every day, right? And so there might be things that you're going to do that are long-term. And so that's when it becomes like a long-term game where you have to, it's more like training, to be honest. But if you do those things, you're going to get those things. Eventually you're going to be that person. And it can be so hard to, you know, do these things with faith. But I think it's also good to try it with something short-term so that you get the faith, you know, like I want this specific thing in the next week or 2 weeks. So write down what you believe you need to do and actually do them, and then watch what happens. And I love this method because it's not like, one time somebody said it's like airy-fairy. It's really not. Like, it's just harnessing what's already there, creating your life all the time. And if you try it, that's the only way you're going to find out. But again, you have to be authentic about it. You have to really get in detail about not only what you want, but what you really, really, truly believe you would need to do. Get that to 100% completed picture, and then actually do those things. And you're going to watch like magic happen for real. So that's my belief method. I felt like telling you about it today. I hope that it helps you. And if you'd like to know more about how to work with me, I have some cool offers going on right now. You can DM me, or you can email me. And I love you so much. Have a good day, everybody. Bye. Thanks for watching, Summer. Good to see you.